Hello, fellow explorers. What are you manifesting? What are you bringing about into your life, and is it what you intend? How are you showing up for the things that are coming into your life, and what is the part that you're playing in it? And more importantly, what can you do to really step up into being the best self you can be to bring about that life that you want? Jump into this timeless tarot pick a card reading and we'll find out. Let's go ahead and jump in right now. Hello, fellow explorers. Welcome to the Mystic Lemur. My name is Rita, and it is my honor to be your guide through these messages. As always, take only what resonates and leave what doesn't. You are always the best expert and judge on what is right for you at this time. So what we're asking with this tarot card reading, this timeless tarot pick-a-card reading today, is what are you manifesting? What are you bringing about into your life? How are you showing up into those manifestations? And more importantly, are they what you intend? And if they're not, if you're finding that you're manifesting more and more things into your life that you find unpleasant and disagreeable, how can you switch things up so that you can be able to bring about the life that you truly want and desire? So the good thing is that you know what you don't want, so that also means that you know what you do want, and you just need to reorient your energies to focus more into those things that you do want and let go of those things that you don't want. Knowing always that the higher purpose and the higher being is guiding you to where you need to be. So with the knowledge that you are always where you need to be, how can you get to be where you want to be? Take more active ownership in your life. So we'll go ahead and jump into these 3-card piles that we have for giving different messages to our viewers here today. We have pile number 1, which we have this Canadian loonie to help orient your choices. And pile number two, we have this Australian $1 coin with these kangaroos. And then pile number 3, we have this Fijian coin with this lizard sitting on a leaf. So that's pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. That's pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So we'll go ahead and help ourselves settle into our alignment of our physical, emotional, energetic, and spiritual bodies so that we can let everything come into a centered space of calm to allow our intuitive knowing to step forward and help us to really receive all of the messages that are being offered to us today through these card piles. So to help us orient ourselves to letting our intuition step forward, let's go ahead and find our comfortable seated position that could be seated onto a chair or on the floor, anywhere where you can really begin to get a sense of connection with your lower body, rooting into Mother Earth beneath you. So getting that sense, even imagining roots growing out of your feet, out of your legs, out of your sits bones, growing deep down, feeling the energetic embrace of Mother Earth as she supports you beneath you, feeling that sense of groundedness, security of this being held by Mother Earth, and taking that energy that grounds you up through those roots and letting that energy shoot up through your stacked spine, vertebrae stacked on top of vertebrae as it shoots out of the crown of your head, and coming into the heart space, breathing into our 3 rounds of deep mindful breaths to help us orient our emotions, our mind, and our bodies to allowing these messages to come through. Taking our 3 rounds of mindful breath, taking a big belly breath in on the inhale, and holding for the exhale. Big belly breath in, and exhaling to release. One more big belly breath in, and exhaling to release. Coming to hone in on the pile that is calling to you. It may be more than one. And if you feel like you need a few more moments to really center in on the messages that are calling to you, please feel free to pause the video here. We'll go ahead and jump into pile number 1. Okay, pile number 1. You have chosen this pile that is guarded by our friend, this Canadian loony here. So that already indicates to me that you might be looking to tap more into either your mind and or your emotions, as this is a bird who flies in the air but also spends quite a lot of time in the water. And the loony also is called the loon because it has this loon on here. The loon has this this call that sounds like a lunatic laughter. So it could also be speaking of tapping into your intuitions, that lunar energy. So what, group number 1, can we offer you as some insight into what are you manifesting into your life right now? And is it what you intend? How are you showing up into these manifestations? All right, group number 1, we have 7 of Chalices. All right, so there is some illusion going on for you, and this is causing you some anxiety. So this 7 of Chalices is a very complex card. It's got a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, we have this lady who seems to be having disturbed sleep, and her sleep appears to be giving her these illusions or these images of these cups that are filled with these various somewhat unpleasant things. So a couple of meanings that this card evokes is letting go of illusion. If you're in a space of being attached to something that isn't really real. So if you're really rooted into this observed physical reality and not really tapping into the other layers of reality that are present for you, if you're living in a space where you're only looking at what you already see in front of you, that's sort of like post-manifestational awareness rather than the pre-manifestational awareness, could also speak to being caught up in some stories that aren't really serving you anymore. Because what you believe is true, and the beliefs that you have are just thoughts that you have repeatedly. So you might be caught up in a cycle of thoughts that really aren't serving you. It could also be indicating there's like 2 layers or 2 paths that you could be choosing, and you might be sitting in a space where you're choosing a lower path, so more in the physical domain of looking for material well-being, material wealth, and more immediate physical gratification, whereas you might be at a space where you're being invited to switch up those choices to choosing a higher path. Or this also speaks of alchemy. So it could be that you're in a space where you're being invited, if you are feeling those awarenesses of thoughts that are no longer serving you, feeling into them in a way that brings love, breathes light into them, and transmute them from the things that are no longer serving you to bring them into something that are serving you. So in this particular reading, what I'm seeing here is you're in a space where you're not really being fully aware of what is actually here for you. You're in a space of being in illusion. You're not tapped into the bigger reality that's at play for you. We have the background energies, the lessons that you're being invited to learn. So we have the 3 of Chalices in reverse. 3 of Chalices upright speaks of authentic and intimate friendships and celebrating good times with those friends. And we can see this is a fairly small friend group, so it's quite intimate. And in the inverse, this might indicate that you are being invited to release expectations of what other people are thinking you should do. So if that's part of the illusion that you're dealing with, especially if you're in an illusion of you need to have a certain amount of financial well-being or a certain amount of physical stimulation to be happy, you might be invited to let go of those sort of like societal expectations and really tap into what you actually value. Don't spend so much time worrying about what other people want you to want. What do you want? What are the energies at the background that are serving you? We have the 6 of Wands upright. So this is a card that speaks of victory. And in this particular card, we have a person who seems to be leading a battalion off into battle. And this is a battle that is won or will be won. We have a lot of yellow in the background here, which speaks of the solar plexus, the Manipura chakra. So your willpower and your self-worth are in the background here. So you do have the willpower, you do have the power, the ability, your ego is able to help you do this. If you're in a sense where you're trying to figure out what it is that you do really want, following your gut will be a good way to get there, because your gut intuition is what is centered in the Manipura, in the solar plexus chakra. So your gut feeling is going to help you here. And the outcome we have for you, 3 of Pentacles. So this is a card that speaks to the embracing your creative gifts. So being creative in the way that you produce your material abundance. So it could be an indication, again, to think outside the box of what you've already been expecting your life should be like. And also it speaks to embracing your creative gifts. So thinking outside of the box in a way that is a productivity of your own creative abilities. So not just rehashing what someone else has done, but actually bringing something new into the world that is an expression of you. And again, with all this blue in the background, that also speaks of speaking your own truth. So again, the outcome here for you is being creative in a way that expresses the real you. That is, what you really want out of your life and not what you think everyone else wants out of your life. What do we have for advice for our group number 1 about how you can best show up to either reorient what it is that you are manifesting that you're not really interested in continuing to manifest, or bring forth more of that, what you do want to have more of in your life? We have the Empress. Lovely. So we have the Empress is 3, which is a teacher number, or a number that speaks of teaching and learning. So what you might need to be doing here is really learning from or teaching others what is true for you. So I'm hearing this is really like listening to learning from your gut and your inner being to learn about what you really value. And the Empress card is ruled by Venus. She is highly abundant. She lives in the good times of life, and she's very fruitful, she's very fecund, she's very motherly. In the Hindu pantheon, she's associated with Lakshmi, which is all about luck and material abundance. So the material world is on your side, and there's this nurturing energy that's here to support you in nurturing yourself, nurturing your own gifts. We have the 2 of Pentacles here, which is also inviting you to come into balance. So that suggests balance, especially with coming up with this 3 of Cups in reverse, balancing out what the other people in your life are saying is right for you and what you decide is right for you. And also coming into a balance between different choices in your physical world. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. So lots of Pentacles energy, lots of productivity in this reading. So the energetic context of this particular reading, we're in the beginning of Capricorn season, and very powerful Capricorn seasons, because that might be part of what's coming forth in this reading for you, and might be part of what the message that you need to be hearing is. But the background energies that are supporting you in getting to this place that you want to be through your manifestations is through productivity. So again, we also have that master number 8, or that numerology number 8, which is about producing lots of financial and material abundance. Material abundance is not a thing that you need to be worrying about too much. And it also indicates as above, so below. So making sure that, again, with this balance, that you are aligning the internal and external worlds as much as you can, and really aligning that with that higher level of yourself. We have, for this card pile, we also had 2 come up. We had 5 come up. I usually do 4 in this range, but we had these both come out for you for the outcomes. So we have 3 of Swords and the Knave of Wands. So the 3 of Swords is often a card that's a bit challenging to see in a reading. The traditional Rider-Waite meaning of this card is like heartbreak. In this particular deck, it's more about like going out on your own, going out into the cold, and really going out to blaze a new trail into this rather harsh environment. And we have these skulls here in the foreground and the background. So you're kind of out into the wilderness, and it feels like you're out in a space where you might not be it's not charted territory, and you feel like you're kind of all on your own. But we have this Knave of Wands coming in as well, which is indicating that there's a new direction in your energy that's coming from this. So this could be an indication that you may be in a space where you're in a long dark night of your soul right now. But you are being invited with this card, or these two cards, to keep the faith that this is going to pass. It's part of releasing these illusions and coming into your own truth. And you are supported, especially you've got this motherly energy supporting you, and you will be victorious. And you've got these energies of material security, especially, that are there for you. So you do have this invitation to trust the process and let it take you into a new direction with your energy. Right. So what are the background energies supporting you? We also have the the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, this is a card that speaks of generosity. So if you're in that sort of long dark night phase, you might be feeling more like this street angel here. But there's these gifts of spirit that are here for you, and especially if you are sitting in a space where you're feeling a perception of lack, it is an illusion. So coming into trusting that you can expect the gifts of the universe to come to you. And if you allow them to be true, they will appear. And they may appear in ways that you do not expect, especially because you might be, in a way, being asked to let go of the things that you have expected, and the things that you have expected because other people have told you to expect them. Listen more into what you think is true and really orient into that. What are the words of wisdom from the flowers we have to share with our group number 1? Moth Orchid, communication. Listen and speak with greater care, right? So if you're watching this because you are attempting to manifest, pay attention to especially your self-talk. So the words that you speak outwardly and the words that you speak inwardly, because they will really make a difference. The universe is very supportive in that it will always give you exactly what you ask of it, and it will always resonate to you exactly what you are resonating. So be mindful of what you're saying, be mindful of what you're thinking internally and externally, so keeping that balance, because the universe will give you what you ask for. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And communicating this could also be being open about what you really want. Like if you're in a space where you don't feel like it's even possible, let the universe decide what is possible. Go ahead and dream big and communicate that. We have Lenten Rose, protection. Conserve what you have, save a little. So I also really orienting here on this protection. You are protected. So again, you might be in this space where you're feeling like you're in this long dark night. Do conserve your energy. Don't overexert yourself. Do save for a rainy day. But know that you are supported. You have the protection. You can protect your own boundaries. You don't have to listen to what other people are telling you so much. And just keep the faith that it's taking you in this new direction. And we have cyclamen, resignation. Say goodbye to what you no longer need. Yeah. So I think these two really go hand in hand. So you do need to conserve what you do need. So build on those things that are working for you. And that is also speaking to this illusion. So build on the things that are going well for you and release those things that are not really helping you anymore. And those could very well be expectations or stories that you've been telling about yourself, to yourself. And we have words of healing wisdom for you, group number 1, this beautiful card with these lanterns, these paper lanterns that are part of a Japanese festival for honoring those who have passed on. So this could be indicating that you've got ancestors around you who are helping you out. We have learn and grow from the wisdom of your feelings by allowing yourself to befriend rather than deny them, right? So again, if you're in this space of being in this long dark night, if you're feeling a lot of grief or a lot of struggle, a lot of strain, a lot of trauma from whatever this illusion that you've been working with is, do trust that you can befriend your feelings. You don't need to fight them so much. You don't need to push down the negative feelings. You can let them float up and sort of just observe them. You can not put so much weight on them and speak to them as helpful companions. So one thing that I've found helpful is in things like fear or anger or sadness, which are not terribly pleasant emotions. I think of them as like helpers, almost like they're there to keep us protected, but they are also there to keep us small. So fear keeps us safe, but it also keeps us from growing, so it keeps us stuck in this space of being out on our own. Anger keeps us safe because it prevents other people from taking advantage of us, but it also keeps us lonely. And sadness also keeps us safe because it prevents us from jumping into things that we aren't ready for, and it helps us to orient to those things that are working for us and those things that aren't. They're all part of our guidance system. They're all part of our discernment system, and the trick is to bring them into alignment so that they're working for you rather than working against you. So if you can befriend them and say, oh, there's anger again. Welcome again, anger. What are you teaching me today? Why have you come up today? And the more that you can have that sort of like relationship of observation with your emotions, the more that you can separate yourself from the illusions that they keep telling you to tap into, and come more into your true self. Those are the messages I have for you. Group number one, thank you so much for letting me be your guide through these messages. I hope that they were resonating something for you. If they were, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. And if this were really beginning to ping something for you, you might like to give this video a like. And if it really hit your vibe, you might also like to give us a subscribe, and maybe even hit that bell notification button to keep up to date with the evolution of this channel. Thank you so much again, group number one. Moving on to group number two. Okay, group number two. What do we have to share with you, group number two, about what are you manifesting? You have this kangaroo coin from Australia here, so it could be that you are manifesting a trip to some place that is warm at the time that I'm giving this reading. It's the summer in Australia. And it could also be that you are ready to hop into something. It gives me the energy of like the Fool, so being ready to jump, take a big leap of faith into something. Or it could be that you are Australian, you're in Australia, or you have some affiliation with Australia that led you to pick that coin or resonate in towards that coin. So what, group number two, are you manifesting? How are you bringing about the life that you are experiencing? How are you showing up in your manifestations right now, group number two? And what can we offer you, group number two, for how to make the best of this? And so what is it that you're manifesting? Is this what you want? And how are you being present in what this is coming up for you? So we have Ace of Wands in reverse. So the Ace of Wands speaks of coming into a new direction with your energy, a brand new, fresh start. It's also the root of all the fire signs. So it's related to all of the Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So this could be an indication that you are a fire sign, or that you have fire prevalent in your chart. But in reverse, this also indicates that it is either your inward fire is directed towards yourself. So maybe you are going through some... I was just talking quite a lot about emotions with pile number one. So maybe it's that you are going through some issues with your anger that is getting to a place where you're not really managing it as well as you would like. Or that you're feeling a sense of like your energy isn't quite as active as you would like it to be. And what are your lessons around this? We have the moon in reverse. So the moon upright is a very lovely card. It's ruled by the moon, and the moon rules Cancer. So we also have the crab here to indicate that Cancer energy. And we have a woman jumping over this crab with the water and the moon in the background. She always reminds me of Artemis, who is also the goddess of the moon, and who is also an archer, so that evokes a bit of the Sagittarius energy as well. So being expansive and lucky, really tapping into the unseen, tapping into the things that are not immediately obvious, and using intuition to do so. Also with Cancer in this card, talking about coming into your emotions, coming into your sensitivities, could be speaking of empath or empathy, and doing so in a way that's very nurturing. In reverse, this could mean, again, this could be also indicating, if I was picking up on some emotional instability within group number 2, this could be another indication that you're being asked to really reconcile with that. It could be because you have some empathic gifts or some clairsentient gifts that you're not fully integrating, and they are causing you to either block your manifestations or bring in things that you don't fully value at this point in time. What are some other background energies in support of you? We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Knight of Pentacles upright is a card that speaks of combination of earth and air. So this is the knight who is the most grounded of the knights. They are all quite active in spreading the especially serving the queens that they are in the house, in the suit of. And this Knight of Pentacles is all about bringing about the physical, practical stuff into the world through diligent planning. So a lot of that, again, that earth sign energy of Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. So you might be, again, having those prominent in your signs, or also the energy of the time of this reading is Capricorn season. So it might be, with it coming up in reverse, that you are being asked to release this reliance on physicality, on practicality. You might be instead being offered to come into a bit more of the seemingly impractical, being a bit more open to things that are not just of the physical domain. And the outcomes you have for you, the Magician. Yep. Okay, so if you are on this current path, what you are invited to become more aware of is your ability to be the manifester that you want to be. So you got this energy of, I'm seeing, blocking your emotional wholeness, and that is with the Magician. Yeah, okay. So the Magician is, again, the master manifester, but he does so in a way that is highly masculine. And so you are at the point where you're manifesting in a way that is very outwardly focused, very external, and very agentic. And it's less about being receptive to what is being offered to you. You're at that level of manifestation where you're really trying to be the sole creator of your life and be the sole driver. So maybe your manifestation style is to do those vision boards and to practice your affirmations every day and really focus in on your desires and really pull that into reality and do that from a very space of here, this yellow, that solar plexus, Manipura energy, a very agentic, very willful, pulling it into reality kind of manifestation style, which definitely does work. And especially for people who have less active fire in their energy profile, which may not be you if you are a fire sign. You are well aware of and adept at doing that kind of pulling things into physical reality by sheer force of will. But with this moon card coming up here in reverse, it might be that what's present for your manifestations that you're not fully taking advantage of is that your emotional body and the water parts of your profile are not being embraced and not really being integrated. And so they're either disrupting your manifestations or actively blocking them, or bringing things into you to help you learn that lesson that you need to also embrace your emotions, which are feeling like things that you don't want at the time. So what group number 2 can we offer you to help you come into a space of being fully present and fully aware so that you can bring about your best outcomes with this additional bit of information about how you're present in your manifestations? We have the Queen of Pentacles. Yep, so she is the Mother Earth card of the Minor Arcana. Coming into, this might be an invitation that you could be spending more time in nature. It could be, especially with all of this masculine energy at the sort of the way that you're doing things right now, being more nurturing and more about growing the things that you're manifesting rather than just like brute force pulling them into reality. We have the Hanged Man. Yep, so you're being invited to take on a change in perspective. And yep, like I was saying, this is a card that's ruled by water. It's all about changing your perspective. So bringing that water part of your profile in, bringing those emotions in, bringing the intuition in, doing things in a way that is less linear and less observed and more lateral, more analogical, more connective rather than analytical. And we have the Nine of Chalices. So the Nine of Chalices is a card that speaks of completion and success in your emotions. So yeah, you're very much being asked to embrace your emotions here, embrace your feminine side as well as your masculine side. Even if you identify as primarily a female person, every person has masculine and feminine traits, and especially if you have a lot of fire in your profile, it could be that you are well aware of the fire that you have and you've been using it very effectively, but you've been repressing that emotional, watery part of yourself and not embracing that nurturing part of yourself. So taking on this change in perspective to embrace that will help you to come to this leveling up. And you can also see in this card, this guy is very well established, right? He's in this luxurious room. He's got all these beautiful cups on display. So he's got abundance of emotional awareness to share, right? But I also sometimes read this card as being a bit like emotionally miserly. So you might also want to make sure that you are sharing this this growth in with this green, this compassionate side of yourself as well. And then the outcomes for you, group number 2, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So the Knight of Swords upright. This is the combination of air and air, so very much all about the mind. And so as I was saying earlier, you might be, the outcome for you is letting go of that linear thinking, letting go of that strictly analytical, very masculine way of thinking, and coming into more of that lateral, visionary, intuitive way of knowing as well, bringing that in so you can integrate all those parts to become that full manifestation of your magician self. All right, so what are the background energies supporting you? We have the Ten of Pentacles. So I often read this card as gifts of the ancestors. So you're being supported by your spirit team in taking this on. And what this also might be indicating is if you can get to this space where you can integrate these parts of yourself completely, that you will be helping your entire family line. You'll be helping those people that are physically around you in the 3D world that we're living in right now, but you'll also be helping those of you who are cheering from you from the other side, cheering for you from the other side. And the ancestors are around you to support you in doing that. So what are our words of wisdom for group number 2? Group number 2, we have Peruvian Lily, strength. More effort will get you what you want. So the Strength card is another one that is has a lot of divine feminine energy. And it's in the tarot deck. It is the one that has this association with the Hindu goddess Durga. And she is all about being the divine mother. But the divine mother in the way that like Mother Nature can be kind of scary with like, don't mess with Mother Nature, storms, but also growth. So coming into your strength, you might need to expend a little bit more of your effort towards looking at things that you haven't been willing to give credence to. You may be like cutting some corners on some things that aren't really in line with what you expect in this sort of this analytical space. And we're in the season of Capricorn at the time of this reading. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is all about restriction and about maturity and about doing it right the first time. So if there is something you're cutting corners on because you're not putting all the effort in, if you're sort of half-hearting something, you're being asked to give it your full-hearted effort. Don't half-heart anything. If you're going to half-heart it, don't bother. If you're going to half-heart it, if you don't believe it, especially in the space of manifestations, if you're not to a place where you can full-heartedly believe it, don't bother. It's not coming. And we have Forget-Me-Not, remembrance. Memories and the past hold the key. So if you are in a space where you are getting more into this embracing of the feminine as well as the masculine parts of yourself, looking to the stories that you've been telling about yourself that limit your ability to embrace those pieces of yourself. And this also could be speaking to past loved ones who are supporting you in this. And we have Mexican Marigold, renewal, time to begin again, stronger, better, right? So the energies of this time, this is a timeless tarot card reading, but the energies that are supporting this reading at this time are of the end of 2019, the end of a decade. So coming into a new chapter and rewriting your opinion of who yourself is. So again, if you're going back to this past, these stories that you've been telling about yourself, and really evaluating the ones that are working for you, and the thing that is really interesting cognitively about how memory works is when you bring up cognition, when you bring up a memory, so we're going to talk linear analytical thinking for a moment here. When you remember something, you actually rewrite it. When you bring it up, you rewrite the new context that is present when you remember something, and it changes the memory. So if you write these memories again and you shift them to be in a space that is more serving of you, and especially serving you in bringing together these feminine and masculine aspects of yourself, you can level up in that way. Get into your space of renewal. And finally, what are the words of healing wisdom we have to share with you, group number 2? This is a beautiful back of the card. We have practice speaking positively about other people and events, and especially the future, right? So that taps also into speak positively about the past, but also speak positively about the future. Extremely important for manifesting. You need to have a positive, abundance, growth-oriented mindset, because the universe will give you exactly what you ask it. Be careful what you wish for. You will get it in some way, in some level. So this may be, this may be an indication that you need to have a look at your self-talk and the way that you're talking about others, bringing more of this nurturing energy, compassionate energy in for yourself and for others. Go gently. All right, those are the messages I have for you, group number 2. Group number 2, thank you so much for letting me be your guide through these messages. I hope that they resonated something for you. If they did, please let me know in the comments below. And if they really began to resonate something for you, you might also like to give us a like on this video. And if it really hit your vibe, you might also like to give us a subscribe and maybe hit that bell notification button so you can keep up to date with the evolution of this channel. Thank you again so much, group number 2. And let's move on to group number 3. Group number 3, what messages do we have to share with you about how you are showing up in whatever it is that you're manifesting right now? Oops, excuse me. Slippery. You chose this coin with a lizard on it. So that suggests to me lizards are cold-blooded animals, which means that they are very much affected by their perception of their environment as they live in it. So they're less about having that internal sense of where things are and what's right for them, and more contingent upon the environment, being cold-blooded. So it could be that you're in a space in your manifestations where you are stuck in observance of what is, stuck in that post-manifestational observation and saying, well, this is what really is, so this is all there can be. And that might be limiting what you're able to manifest. So what can we offer to you, group number 3, about how you're being present in the manifestations you're creating, and are they what you intend? What's going on in your manifestation profile right now? We have 9 of Swords. You are very anxious. You're very worried. You've got a lot of negative thought here, and it's keeping you up at night. So whatever's going on for you, group number 3, it's stressing you out and it's keeping you awake. And that could be tied into that you're observing the physical reality that's presented to you. And what's the the lessons being learned here? We have 5 of Pentacles. So the 5 of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite deck is a card that speaks about perception of lack or perception of scarcity. But in this particular card, in this deck, it's got this imagery of this woman who's standing in front of this camera. So she's like an influencer or a famous person coming out and stepping up into the limelight. So what might be going on as a lesson for you is to step into your power, step into being physically, externally expressive. The Pence is about the earth energy of the physicality of it. So physically expressing who you are in an open way, and also with this green in the background, doing so in a way that is centered in the heart. And also, if you are experiencing this anxiety because you are in a space of perceiving scarcity, that might be a challenge that you're dealing with. We have the background energies that support you, the Fool. So this is all about taking a leap of faith. You are supported in taking a leap of faith. If that's what you're worrying about, that like this thing that would help you to step into the limelight and help you to step into who you really are, is stressful to you, know that you are supported in taking that leap. You can't, and we also have this, here in this particular card, we have this little dog who's like, no, don't jump. You are able to do so as long as you do so in a way that you are doing it from your truth. With this blue, reminds me of the Vishuddha, the throat chakra. So doing so in a way that is truthful for you and not before it's ready. But if it's coming up in the upright position, it's that you are supported in taking that leap of faith. And we have the outcomes for you, 8 of Chalices. So you're going to be finding that whatever it is that's not serving you, that's giving you this anxiety, you're going to be able to walk away from it. So the 8 of Chalices is all about, this is a thing that maybe was once very fulfilling to you, especially emotionally, and you've reevaluated it, and now it's time to step away from it. So this is sort of the manifestation profile you have. The thing that might be blocking your manifestations right now is you're still in this space of anxiety. You're not quite ready to fully trust the universe just yet. But once you're able to step into that and really let go of those things that aren't serving you anymore, your manifestations will be much more effective. And what can we offer you, group number 3, as advice for how to get to that space where you can take that leap of faith and let go of that anxiety? We have the Wheel. So this is the major arcana card that is ruled by Jupiter, which is all about luck. The Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is in your favor. Go ahead and spin it. Take that leap. Fortune is in your favor. We have the Queen of Chalices. So the lessons that you are being learned here are to do with coming into your emotions, coming into your intuition, coming into your nurturing side. This is Water of Water, a card that is fully ruled by water, but in the more mundane sense, less in like the archetypal sense of the major arcana cards. So this could also be including an indication that you should change your perspective on something and come to more of your intuitive understanding of it, rather than your linear external observed world. As I was saying, like if you're focusing on what you observe in the world already, coming to more of your intuitive sense of things and your linear sense, your visionary sense of things, rather than just sticking to what is already physically here. We have the Chariot. Goodness, there's a ton of water in this card, in this reading. The Chariot is another major arcana card. This one is ruled by Cancer. So this is also a card about forward movement, your forward movement, taking that leap of faith. The Wheel of Fortune is on your side. Taking that leap of faith in the space of your emotional, letting your emotions be your guide. So taking that inspired action. When the action inspires you to movement, you will be supported in being successful in that. So really tapping again into your intuitive knowing and letting that intuitive sense of like, oh, I should move now, and waiting for that time. As soon as you feel that spark, acknowledge it and step to it. Take that leap, but not a moment before. Don't push it. And we have the outcome, 5 of Chalices. So the 5 of Chalices is a card that speaks of looking, here we have looking to the past. Again, a lot of that green energy. We have water here again. And he's looking to this vista over here with these 3 cups in the foreground that he seems to have this sort of nostalgic, wistful longing for, but he's not taking into account these other cups behind him. So this suggests to me that you have this other layer of, especially this emotional awareness, this emotional body intelligence that can help you to bring about these changes, releasing these anxieties, taking this leap of faith that are being offered to you as a support from the unseen, possibly from spirit. And the background energies supporting you are, we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 9 of Pentacles is another card that has similar imagery to the Fool. And the 9 of Pentacles is a lady who is looking over her domain. She's looking up across this broad field, and she's nearly at the completion of her financial or her physical cycle. The cycle of her, what she needs to learn from this cycle. She's nearly integrated all of what she needs to learn about the physical reality. But as it's in reverse, this might indicate that you are being supported and invited in making a breakthrough through this realization of the physical abundance that you already have. So again, if you're feeling insecure, this is a card that might be inviting you to really ground and take your inner being into your physical being. So ground that higher awareness that you get through the emotional awareness and ground it into your physicality. So again, if you're looking at the observed reality, let go of the physicality, but keep yourself grounded. So in the sense of like taking grounding meditations, doing things like we did at the card sort or the card selection of like feeling your sense of being rooted into the earth, feeling your sense of being supported by the earth, but also taking that energy up through your body all the way through the crown and into your higher levels of awareness. That can be very helpful for you. And that is supporting you in getting past this anxiety and taking that leap of faith that will help you leave behind that thing that's no longer serving you. That will bring about more effective manifestations for you. So what are the words of wisdom from the flowers that we have to share with our group number 3? We have Jonquil, power. Take hold of what is yours. So that speaks to the chariot as well. So stepping into your power, taking hold of what is yours. If you have these emotional, intuitive gifts, embrace them. And bring them in to help you get through this space that you're in. We have anemone, optimism. Look up and look brightly, right? So if you're in a space where you have, I'm not a healthcare professional, so if you are actually in a space of mental, sense of mental unwellness, please do seek the support of a professional on that. They're there for a reason, and they are highly effective at getting you out of dark spaces. But also the way that you can help yourself to also get out of those dark spaces is to try to look for the good in things. The world that we live in is a world that appears to be of duality. So we have light and dark, positive and negative, male and female, up and down. But the thing is, like, all the things that have these dual aspects are actually the same thing. So like we have the head and tail of the coin, right? Like this is still one coin. So you can just as easily choose to look at the positive side of the things as you can of the negative side of things. You're possibly in a habit of seeing the negative, and that'll be a habit that'll take a while to break. But it is something that you can shift if you choose to. And this reading is indicating that that might be a thing that will serve you very well if you can get yourself to shift that perspective. We have crocus, breathe. Yep, so that's what I was saying with that. You might find grounding meditations or meditation practice in general very effective. Calm, rest, stop, and just be. That's also very helpful if you're experiencing some tough emotions, is let your mind come to stillness. That is something that if you are in a space where you have a lot of tough thoughts, a lot of thoughts that are difficult to sit with, meditation can be a difficult thing to start off with because it can actually get you in a space where you feel like you're ruminating or you're keep repeating those stories. So another thing that you can use is just, again, breath work. Really counting your breaths and going out for a walk, taking a shower, taking a bath, doing something that reminds you of how good it is to be physically you. So getting back into your body, the breath. So I do some yoga teaching, and the way that breath operates in yoga practice is it's this link. It's the thing that ties the mental body to the physical body. So to get out of your mind and get into your physical body, you use the breath. So you tie your awareness to your breath, and then you let that unify the separations, the apparent separations between your mental and physical body, and that can very much help you get that grounding, that can help you get through this sense of anxiety, that can help you take this leap of faith that you need to take to let go of the things that you no longer need. And what are the words of wisdom we have to offer you? These beautiful blue butterflies. We have, begin to see yourself as a spiritual being, having an earthly experience of growth and transformation. So yes, this is a really powerful tool to get through anxiety. Is like you are here And these things that feel hard, that feel like they're things that we don't want, if you feel like you're manifesting hard, painful things into your life, it's because you're learning. It's because you are a being that is so much more than the physical, observed reality that you experience. And this reality of you that is much bigger than the here and now is here because you're learning new things, you're leveling up, you're gaining more wisdom through those things. So if you are able to look back to other times in your life, maybe if you're going through a space where you're trying to manifest something into your life that is actually not serving you, and you come back to another, like that old country song saying, like, God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. So it might feel like your prayers are not being answered right now, but it's because you need to learn something to help you get through it. And this experience that you're having is helping you to step up into your greater awareness of your other parts of yourself than just the physical reality. All right, group number 3, that is the message that I have for you. These are the things that we have to share with you, group number 3. I do hope that they resonated something for you. If they did, please let me know in the comments below. And if they really began to ping something for you, you might like to give it a like. And if this is really hitting your vibe, you might also like to give us a subscribe and maybe hit that bell notification button to keep up to date with the evolution of this channel. Thank you so much, group number 3, for letting me be your guide. I hope to see you again soon. And until then, as always, go in peace to love and to serve. Namaste.